Are you ready for what could be quite possibly the most outrageous story of our lives? I'm gonna set the mood. This is a story of heartbreak. There are twists and turns that could never be foreseen. This is a story of love, loss, and letting go. This is the story of my Instagram getting hacked. Yeah, so about a week ago, I was in the kitchen making pizza dough, doing what one does. While I was making pizza dough, I noticed that some people were messaging me on Instagram in a way that seemed like they were replying to messages that I didn't send. Concerning. I jumped to check, and I noticed that I had been logged out of my Instagram. Panic started setting in a little at this point. I went on my desktop and checked, and saw that some other Facebook account had been added to my account. I knew I was being hacked. I was a little high. And by a little, I mean decently. So it started turning into a movie almost of like, oh no, I've been compromised. Like I need to get back into the system, save the account. And so I started resetting passwords on all my emails, my Facebook account. But I kept getting booted out of the Instagram account, and nothing I was doing was seeming to work. It was about an hour of attempting to do this until I just gave up because there was nothing I could do, and I was hungry and tired. I still hadn't finished my pizza. While I was making it, I got kind of a devious idea. I decided to just message my hacked account from an alternate account, and it was very interesting. I'm going to chime in every so often with myself here to actually give context in between each time. Hopefully that's not jarring to the story. My tactic going into this was, I wonder if I can appease to their humanity. So I said, this is a charity. That's what you hacked. A page that gives things away to people for free. I don't know if I view this as a charity or not, but I am giving away things for free. It's more of a charity than some charities are. They said, I'm so sorry about that, but my condition made me do it. The fuck? So I go, what's your condition? It's a lot. You wouldn't even believe me, but it's really not easy. I might believe you, who knows? My tactic going into things like this, because this isn't my first time dealing with someone that is communicating in a very obtuse way, vague and dramatic. I go into situations like this with curiosity and inquiry and seeing what comes out of it. They say cost of living and my education fees. I'm like, yeah, that's really rough. I feel that a lot. So you hack pages? And how do you earn money off of that? And what led to this being your choice to survive? I'm not judging. I'm genuinely curious. It's okay. I don't mind you asking. I hack and sell them. So I say, to who? And I'm still curious why you choose to do this. It pays well, I assume? No, it doesn't pay well, but one can survive on that. And then they replied to who, saying sell to people who need them. Again, being needlessly vague. That was curious to me. Why are you doing it if it doesn't pay well? So I'm like, oh, that sucks that it doesn't pay well. I would have assumed that's what makes it worth it. And what do you mean to people who need them? One has got no option. And yes, people make use of them. What makes you feel like it's your only option? They go back into the drama. You won't understand where I'm coming from. Anyways, I'm sorry for getting your account hacked. Now, this is a gripe I have, and I used to be in this pattern as well. Distancing blame from yourself by going, oh, I'm sorry that this happened, as opposed to like, hey, I did this. I was the one who did this. They're distancing themselves from taking accountability because, my theory, deep down, they don't want to do this. So they're trying to avoid any language that applies it to being them. They're trying to do mental gymnastics to not really go like, oh, I'm choosing to do this. I'm now going a little bit on a, like, passive offensive here. Maybe I will. I'll admit I'm upset that my page has been stolen from me, but I can appreciate it's not personal. You don't mean to hurt me directly, but your phrasing there confuses me. You didn't get me hacked. From my understanding, you chose to do this. Out of a need for survival, yes, but it's still you. Well, I don't know you, so definitely no intention to hurt you. Yes, it's me, if I understand your question well. You do understand that your intention doesn't prevent the hurt though, right? And I don't mean that in a shaming way. I want to know. This page is my business. I just started it. It's emotionally my baby. I am emotionally distraught. I was very emotionally distraught. I still am a little distraught because I don't have the page back yet. I was hoping being vulnerable with him would appease to him in some form. You didn't intend to do that, and likely wouldn't directly. I'm sure you're a well-intentioned person, but that is the hurt that's being caused. I clearly understand you. I don't mean to hurt you, but it's hurting you anyways, so I'm sorry. Again, there's this distancing from accountability of they're like, oh, it sucks that it's hurting you, but I need to do this. I have no choice. So I say, you say you're sorry, but you don't need to follow through with this. You get to choose whether you steal this page from me or not, you know. And you don't know me. There's no reason for you to make a sacrifice for me. But now that you're aware a lot of hurt is being done by this, you do have the power to reverse it. I can appreciate that gets in the way of your survival, but what is one small scrap for another person's overwhelming gratitude? Regardless, I'm really grateful for you having taken the time to talk with me. They say thanks, I do understand you, but I won't lie, your words doesn't change anything. I'm sorry to say that. I say, are you though? Again, don't mean that in a shaming way, because it's still within your power. Have you ever gone back on something like this in the past and changed your decision? Also, if you're not going to give it back, at least check out some of the content while you have it, and let me know what you think, lol. I always love feedback. I was hoping that part would be a little subtle trick to, like, get him to see my face. A lot of this is easy when you can depersonalize and not really feel as though you're directly harming a person. They said, yes, I have to have they gone back on that, but this doesn't really go anywhere. And they said, sure, you should know you're an amazing person. I respect that. That was interesting to me. I said, what made you change your mind in the past? They didn't reply to that. And I said, and thanks. I often don't think that, honestly. What makes me an amazing person? Because I'm confused by things like that. They're saying that based off of a single interaction they're having with me over text. What makes them feel like I'm an amazing person? Such a pedestaling. For whatever reason, from my actions of doing this, he's then going, oh my god, this is an amazing person. They say, your manner of approach, the way you speak, the way you handle situations and all. There's a lot to say about your type of person. Keep pushing and don't let anyone slow you down. I reply, I appreciate that a lot. I mean, this is slowing me down a lot, to be honest. You're likely not seeing the whole weight of how this is affecting me, otherwise I feel like you wouldn't do it. They reply again, sorry about that. But it's the same way you're likely not seeing why I can't just return it. It's me trying to survive. Okay, so I say, that's fair. Help me understand you then. Do you have a family? It also doesn't need to be that. I just want to understand. I've stolen to survive. Mostly just grocery stores, though. I've stolen a lot more than that, and I get into that with them a little bit. They say, it's too much to explain. You should know there are a lot of people who struggle to survive. I'm identifying things with them that I don't want to ever directly point out to them or attack at, but this is classic victimhood mentality. You don't get it, there are people suffering in the world, like you just don't understand, like this is my own unique problem that I'm going through. There are thousands of more people struggling to survive that don't choose to steal from people. So for you to go, oh my god, my position is so unique, nobody understands. There are people who understand you on a visceral level and still don't choose to steal. So for you to go, no, but my position is unique, I have to steal, they don't for whatever reason, you're choosing to steal. Yes, it sucks that you're in a position where it becomes a very easy choice to make, but it is still a choice that other people aren't choosing. It's about figuring out, hey, how can I get to a place where I'm also not making that decision? Because it doesn't feel good. So I'm still going on the offensive a little bit, but very passively. I say, oh, I know. I was one of them for a long chunk of time, actually. Not all of them choose to do what you do, though. Some do significantly worse for sure. But I want to try to understand what led to this for you. Maybe that is too much, but I'd love to understand you more. And they say, survival for a better life. I also have a dream, a career to pursue, but it's impossible because of my finances. I say, that's really hard. But honest question, do you feel like this has been helping to bring you a better life? Not to get deep, but better life can be a complex thing. I'm so grateful they were the ones that said better life, because I have experienced this directly, that no amount of stealing actually helps bring you to what you personally feel like is your better life. There's this mental trickery of, oh, if I just get that thing, then I'll have my better life. But it directly goes against your better life. Your better life is where you're feeling whole with yourself, where you're feeling good about yourself. And any actions that betray that are going in the opposite direction. They say no, but it helps me to manage my life. And they say, yeah, better life can be a complex thing. I say, oh, and it just doesn't feel like there are any other options to help you manage your life. I'm definitely not going to be doing this all my life, but just a period of time. And they are like, if there was any other options. If there was, I would take the option. That's fair. Can I push back a little with my perspective? Which, pro tip to anyone that's trying to convey their opinion to someone to help them grow, to help them change, do not give it unconsensually. Like, don't just go, oh, hey, here's what you should do. Oh, you know what, I think this is what you should do. They're not going to receive it because you didn't ask them if you could give it to them first. And you have no authority in giving them opinions about how to live their life. Just because you have this wisdom about what they're doing wrong doesn't mean you have any permission to just forcibly direct them to move any particular way. You gotta ask them. You gotta have them on your side. They said, yes, you can. I say, what if this is contributing, if not perpetuating, your feeling of being trapped and stuck in survival? You've expressed you don't enjoy doing this. It's a necessary evil, one could phrase it. But it doesn't feel good. And what if it leads to you overall not feeling the greatest, which then impedes your ability to actually feel alive enough to pursue your dream? I'm sure there are tons of other factors at play as well that I couldn't even begin to understand. But from my perspective, and when I stole, it never felt great to any degree, and no matter how indirect it was. Then I remembered I stole from Tim Hortons. Allegedly. Never mind, I stole a ton of money from Tim Hortons when I worked there. I don't know if you've heard of it, it's a coffee shop. I'm low-key proud of that still. But it didn't feel great while I was doing it. It just feels good that I didn't get caught. They said, yes, but I won't do this forever, just the same way you didn't do it forever. Oh, for sure. But it didn't bring me my dream in the slightest. It actually was keeping me away from it. I didn't feel good about myself while doing it. I needed to feel good about myself to actually do what I love. Do you feel like there's any chance this could be getting in the way of you feeling good about yourself? And I added, I hope I'm not pushing too far. I really want to make sure they don't pull back. Because I feel like I'm getting close to something here. I could feel it while I was doing this. I was feeling excited. I'm going to paraphrase what they said at this point because I didn't take any more screenshots when my account got disabled. I can't see the messages, which sucks, but I'll paraphrase. They said, no, you're not. I can feel that this isn't taking me down the right track, but I don't feel like I have any other options. So I said, that's the problem though, isn't it? If it's not putting you on the right track, it's putting you on the wrong track. It will be hard to believe that I get the survival and meantime feeling, as in like, I'm just doing this in the meantime. But I really do. But being on the other side of it now, I realized it does kind of work like that, right or wrong track. The moment I stopped going down the wrong track and started going down the right one, things got better. Based off, like you said, you're human, I am too. I do low-key believe people tip into inhuman, though, serial killers, etc. You can likely feel which way is right and which way is wrong. Again, it will be hard to believe, but I promise you things just start to work out when you start going down the right one. I really have a theory, and I feel like it's getting confirmed in this, that the average person knows right or wrong and has this internal kind of intrinsic sense of what would be the right thing to do and what would be the wrong thing to do moment to moment. And then there's just a select few of us that really didn't develop that sense of right or wrong in the slightest, and then don't have a clear direction. But most of us really are able to still tap into that general sense of, this doesn't feel right. I want to get this theory confirmed more and more. And it will sound like I'm saying this to get my account back. I don't fucking care at this point. Well, I do care, but I care more about this right now. I don't want to see someone stuck like I was, which this is full truth. I now at this point was like, sure, I hope I get my account back, but like this is more fun because I'm realizing this is a dude who was stuck in a place that I was pre-counseling. So if I can kind of deliver this in the right sense, I might actually like put someone on the right path, which that's fucking cool. I forget what they said in response to this. Oh, I think they said something like, oh, don't worry, you're gonna get your account back. I was like, shush, who cares right now? I want to know if this is resonating with you. And if I am getting it back, I want to stay in touch. I'm fully serious. This has been such an enjoyable conversation for me, which is true. I had so much fun. And they said it is resonating with them. And they were like, yeah, I can feel that this isn't where I want to be going. If they're being serious, that they're actually having this awareness awaken in that moment, and I provided that, like, oh my god, the hacking was worth it. I potentially did something I feel as though I myself didn't believe was possible, and a lot of people wouldn't believe was possible, appealing to a perpetrator's humanity and potentially getting them to see that what they did was wrong. I feel as though so many of us crave to figure out how to do that, and we often do it from the lens of shaming and punishing, and that doesn't work. And I may have found a way that works, which is just love and understanding. It's so cheesy, but like that's all I did, was I just attacked them with love and understanding. So I say that makes me really happy. It's honestly all because I know what it feels like. It's so independently nuanced how to get out of it. But the one thing I have learned so far, in brackets so fucking cheesy to say, you gotta trust your heart. It fucking knows, man. It's crazy. And magic happens when you listen to it. Like achieving your dream even more than you can believe. They replied with something that I can't remember, and then they replied words in all caps with the clapping emojis. And that part was the most interesting to me because it felt like the most human interaction of it all, and most like my age interaction of it all, if not younger. Like that's such a young person response. They're just someone like me that just went down the path of hacking, and that just was a way they found for survival, and they were just caught in that loop without any form of intervention like I later received, thankfully. Maybe if we can find a way to just intervene with these people, we can awaken their humanity. I sent some other messages, like I was just like, thank you, that's really validating. Words is what I do, that's what this page is a lot of, which if you are serious about giving it back, you should really follow and check out. I'm getting better with my words every day, lol. And I am serious about wanting to stay in contact. I'm curious what your dream is, and just to get someone into hacking from a writer perspective, I find it fascinating. It'd be cool to have someone to talk to with about it. And then I said, also, what's your name? I'm Andrew. And then they never replied, which is sad. I hope I can get in contact with them somehow. That was such an interesting experience to me. We're stuck in this kind of game of performing the role that we feel like we're supposed to be in. And I'm theorizing that just having a moment of bypassing that, me not letting him feel sorry for himself, me not letting him be a perpetrator, me not letting him be all these things he kept trying to be, and shoving aside that and going, no, but like, what's going on here? What's the human feeling you're feeling? Where is this coming from? We got to the bare bones of it, that, oh, this doesn't feel like it's taking me down the right path. This feels like it's taking me down the wrong path. I'm going to have to figure out a different way to survive, because going down the right path is going to take me to my dream. It really is that simple. And they just didn't have someone to healthily sit down with them and go, hey, this doesn't feel good, does it? Maybe we can figure out an alternative here. Which is really what a good parental figure is supposed to do, and what so many of us are lacking, and what I believe leads to this in the first place. And then we just shame those that didn't have the parental figures they needed, and then shaming them just makes them double down and get worse. Any amount of distancing ourselves from their humanity is felt by them and then gets responded to accordingly, and then they lose more and more of their humanity. So now the stage of my account is it's disabled by Facebook, aka Meta. It's on a delay right now to 3 to 30 days till I might get it back. What I found very interesting with the parallels between the exchange with the hacker and then the exchange with Meta is there's no way to directly contact them without paying for the subscription. So if you have any customer service issues with a company, you have no way to contact them without paying. I don't know if that should be legal. I know it seems pretentious to be like, oh, you have to put these laws in place, but like that doesn't feel like a line that we should cross, where there are these corporations where you could become dependent on them for your source of income. And then in order to actually contact them, you need to be paying their monthly subscription if you have issues with your account. That doesn't feel okay. Even going through their support, I don't know if I spoke to an actual human. And they kept sending these random blurbs in Japanese. NANI? It's just weird that their support system would just be flinging those out there with that, when you have this billion-dollar company that can't even just figure out how to get that right. And then meanwhile, I was able to have a very meaningful conversation with the hacker who had very prompt responses and much quicker than the Meta support. I really find that parallel interesting of I had a more human connection with the hacker than I did with Meta support. Even with paying, I still don't have my account. They're still going through some back-end process of figuring that out and taking their time with that. And I'm curious if I would be paying the higher subscription if I would be getting it sooner. Probably. That is a scary direction to be moving in, where you are giving priority to people who pay more for customer service and potentially not giving any priority at all to those who pay little or don't pay at all. That's not good. Hopefully by the time I post this, I have my account back. I don't know if that's likely. I might need to start anew, which that sucks. But yeah. How's your day going?